Nick Chubb our starter and give this to the fans. And he really started off the game well, and I think it's an awesome backfield. It's the best backfield name in the NFL, Chubb and Johnson. You got to agree.
I was hoping they would trade for Smallwood to have the all immature backfield.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you're right, Rod. I mean, it looks good now, but yeah, somebody gets hurt, then
it's a little short-sighted. Yeah. And like Chad said, he had 16 carries up to the point when Hyde was traded. 16 carries in the first six or seven games. So yeah, I mean, I like Nick Chubb. I mean, I'm a huge fan of his. I'd see him, as the future, obviously, but man, I really like the way Carlos Hyde was running, and people keep pointing to his average per carry, which wasn't very good, but he was carrying the ball early in the season when the line was crap, and just he was always out there just really plugging away for those extra yards. You don't see him just fall down and stuff. Hyde was running like a man this whole season, so I just I wish he was still on the team. That's where I stand.
And I said this in our last show too. I believe that Dorsey will do this. He will go and get Demaryius Thomas, who's on the block right now, and we'll finally have that big receiver. I think we'd have him for 2 years would be the contract we grab from him. He's 30 years old, and he needs a change of scenery. And I think that would really pan out well. He would have no attitude issues. That was the whole thing with Cleveland. Let's go get Des Bryant. But then we'll have this locker room issue. You won't have that with Demaryius Thomas. And I think that's a great move for the Browns to go get a guy like that right now and put him alongside Jarvis.
Well, I hope it happens before Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Please. Please.
What's the deal with Duke Johnson? He's barely used, definitely not running, and he's not even getting that many receptions or targets. What is the deal here?
I think we both thought he was going to see more action this past Sunday, and I think he had, what do we say, 5 touches or
That's it.
5 touches.
Five touches.
Yeah, 4 receptions and 1 carry. It's just not enough. I mean, he's electric when he gets the ball. I mean, he's I don't know if he's the top playmaker, but he's sure close to it on the Browns. So I really don't know. It's almost like Hugh or somebody just plain doesn't like the guy. I mean, he's just too good to not get the ball into his hands more.
Yeah, I was hoping that I would jump on here and you would tell me what's the deal with Todd Haley.
Well, that's the difference. I mean, maybe Hugh likes him, but Todd Haley doesn't. And maybe that's why they traded Hyde, because maybe Dorsey thought, well, if I get rid of the running back that he's using all the time, maybe he'll be forced to use the other guys, and that didn't really happen.
Well, and they had a lot of sets. I mean, Duke and Chubb were out there at the same time a lot last week, but Duke just did not get the targets. He got 1 carry. He's just so much better than that. So they really need to use him. They need to figure out a way to use him, or somebody needs to make Todd Haley use him.
Well, I really thought with Todd Haley used to using Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh would use Duke Johnson to the fullest. It's confusing me for sure over here.
I mean, Duke's the closest thing we have to Le'Veon Bell, that's for sure. A guy who can catch the ball well, and he can't. He's not going to be a workhorse running back, but he can certainly, carry the ball on occasion and make some great catches. So they definitely should be using him a lot more.
It's just really curious. You're right. Todd Haley loves pass catching running backs. So, and what he would do with Le'Veon Bell is line him up a wide receiver sometimes. So, and the Browns don't exactly have the greatest wide receivers past Jarvis Landry. So
everybody else is hurt.
Yeah. So I don't know. Really weird, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe head coach Todd Haley will make things different.
Maybe.
Onto the defense. Could you? I don't want to say that the defense has been the best in the league, but man, you gotta love some of those. You have to love the progress of Myles Garrett and how some things are going, especially in the takeaways.
I don't know how the Browns aren't winning games when they win the takeover battle, the takeaway battle almost every game. They've had 4 takeaways to 1 against Tampa Bay. They couldn't win. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, just focusing on the defense, sure. I mean, we have a lot of guys that are making plays out there. I mean, Kirksey stepped up and had two takeaways in this past game. We've seen Agba make plays. Just a lot of different guys with takeaways, and they're being opportunistic and they're making stops when they need to. They're giving up yards between the 20s, and they're giving up points, but it seems like they're making stops a lot of times when they should be making stops or when they really need to, and they're making these big plays. So to me, it really lies more on the offense at this point, as far as the record that the Browns have.
We got to love Denzel Ward as a rookie, too, who is already showing that the game's not too fast for him as well, and showing that John Dorsey was right to move that far up, or at least, to pick that high up at number 4, a cornerback. We've got a shutdown corner, it seems, already. And guys like a Christian Kirksey sliding into middle linebacker last game when Joe Schobert, our cerebral defensive leader, our one Pro Bowler last year, is out with a hamstring problem. And he really showed up. Forced fumble, an interception, a beautiful one. We've got guys, we've got depth, even with some injuries we've seen with Agba, guys like that. Man, we've got some real talent and some real depth stepping up on the defense. And thank goodness, because it's been a rough few years even on that side too.
Oh, yeah. I as a Steeler fan, I fear the Cleveland defense. I remember the first game, the Steelers were ahead in the fourth quarter, and then Myles Garrett strips James Conner and causes a fumble, and that results in a score. And they are so opportunistic. I remember how much criticism Dorsey got for taking Denzel Ward with that second first-round pick. And, hey, look at it now.
Yeah, looks a great pick.
Pretty smart, yeah. So
2 rookie of the weeks already. I mean, that's huge.
And it's nice to see Myles Garrett just out there, healthy, and he looks like he just looks like a scary force that's going to be really good for a long time. So,
he would probably have twice as many sacks if he wasn't held on like every other play too. Guys really don't know how to stop him, so he's literally being like tackled half the time out there. Sometimes it gets called, sometimes it doesn't.
And he's so smart too. Him and Von Miller are the 2 guys, obviously at this high of level. They're really experts as edge rushers. With all these penalty calls that are surfacing this year, everybody's getting called for everything. He's only going after the arm and the football of quarterbacks anymore. I haven't seen him put his weight on a quarterback since really the first game against Pittsburgh. Actually, the second half of the Pittsburgh game, he got called 2 or 3 times, sacking Ben, and then in the second half, he was only going after the ball, and it's made all the difference, and it's changing the way the edge rushers play the game in the NFL altogether.
Yeah, I know. I know you're a big fan of the refs this year.
Oh, in Cleveland, yeah, we're huge. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? Was it after the Oakland game, Rod, that you put out a thing like, here's the league office's number, everybody call him, or something like that?
Yeah, it was after. I think it was after that game. Yeah, we got a pretty good response from that tweet.
But
I'm sure the league office appreciated it too, because a lot of people called.
No, you are absolutely right. The refs absolutely stole that game. That should have been a Cleveland win. That was almost like pro wrestling evil referee level bad.
Yeah.
So
it was.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, as far as a prediction for this game, how do you see it going?
I would be lying if I was gonna. I would probably be lying if I said I expected a Browns win. I'm always hopeful with that defense and with Baker. That the Browns have a chance. Especially after the first week, I thought, well, we got after the first week, the two teams tied. I'm thinking, things seem pretty even in that game, and now we've got Baker in, but the Browns have kind of changed in some other areas. So, and it's always tougher in Pittsburgh. So, I think I expect another close game, but I would love to pick the Browns, but I just can't pick the Browns this week. I'll be happy if they win, but I just don't see it.
Mm-mm. Oh man, my brain tells me they're gonna lose, and by at least a touchdown. But my heart tells me they are going to win. I just posted Myles Garrett shredding Ben Roethlisberger again, so I'm fired up.
They met. Myles always wanted to meet Ben Roethlisberger. They had their meeting. Good for them.
That's right. 24-21 Browns. Let's do it.
All right. I mean, I hope it's a good game, and I hope it doesn't come down to some stupid controversial call. We've just had that too often. And for God's sake, let's avoid overtime this week.
I was just going to say, the only thing we could almost guarantee is it's probably going to go to overtime, because that's what the Browns like to do. They like that extra work.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
A prop bet on that right now is probably a higher chance of overtime anymore for the Browns than an under. It's crazy.
Amazing. Well, don't worry. Our kicker isn't kicking any 59-yard field goals, so that's not an issue.
Oh, man. I already erased that from my memory. Thank you.
Yeah.
That guy couldn't make a layup and then kicks a 60-yarder. Yeah. What?
Oh, crazy. Gosh.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Rod Bluhm, Chad Painter. Everybody needs to check out the Brownie podcast. Brownie Sunday Podcast. Just for the intro song alone. I am jealous. That is the if there was an award for best intro song, you guys would win it. It is amazing.
Do you know who that is on that intro song?
What do you mean?
Do you know who's doing the singing on that intro song?
It's Chad.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure everybody knew. I didn't know if people knew that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Every time I hear it, I have to go on YouTube and watch Lazy Sunday, because that's one of my favorite skits ever.
Oh, I'm going to go do that right now. It's a good idea.
There you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Joe.
So now for our weekly NFL segment with Coach and Mark. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hi. Hey, what's up?
Have you seen Le'Veon Bell anywhere in town? That seems to be the hot topic.
Oh my Lord! I mean, how many Yinzers have tweeted or tried to call in the fan to say that they spotted Lev Bell somewhere around town?
Man,
it's the new call in and say, "Stan Guy, love the show." I saw Lev Bell.
If he's actually walking around town in all these different places, then he's going to be in great shape.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe that's what he's doing.
He's going maybe to pick up money. He is working for the health inspector, and he's going from gas station to from Get Go to Sheetz to all these places to inspect, to do food inspection.